Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Flanagan. I am the founder and CEO of Actua. I'm incredibly pleased to be joined today by Jennifer Leaman, who is the Director of Talent, Learning, and Development at Finning. Finning is the world's largest Caterpillar dealer, providing equipment and parts and services to customers in various industries, including mining, construction, forestry, and a wide range of power systems applications. We are incredibly pleased not only to speak to Jennifer because of the expertise you bring to this topic we're going to talk about, but also because Finning has been such a wonderful partner of Actua's. You've been funding us and our STEM outreach programs in Western Canada since 2017. Finning actually specifically supports the programs that we deliver to youth to build confidence in science and technology in communities across British Columbia and Alberta, Saskatchewan, Yukon, and Northwest Territories. Today, I'm excited to talk about a topic that I think has such wide and deep implications for the Canadian economy and for a topic that's getting a ton of attention right now, which is gaps in the future workforce. People are thinking about it in terms of their own skills. They're thinking about it for their kids. They're thinking about it, for just the overall economic and social prosperity of our country. So we're going to talk a little bit about the increasing skills gap, labor shortage, specifically because of the work Finning does around the skilled trades and around how STEM education can be an excellent way, especially to get underrepresented youth engaged in filling some of these critical gaps. So Jennifer, welcome. It's so nice to have you here.
Well, thank you so much. And it's lovely to meet you. And I'm excited to have the opportunity to have this conversation.
Great. So tell us just first about yourself a little bit and how you became the Learning and Development Officer at Finning. And specifically, what does that role entail?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been in human resources for over a dozen years, probably closer to 20 years now. Now I feel like I'm getting really old. My education is in business and in human resources. And then I've got some coaching and mediation and negotiation training there as well. I've been with Finning for about 10 years. Just over 10 years. I started as a human resources business partner, moved into different HR manager positions, labor relations, moved into some of our global team, and then moved into leadership development, and then finally into this role. So what does that all entail? Well, I have the great opportunity to lead some amazing teams. So we oversee our talent function within our Canada operations, which includes our inclusion and diversity. So really, how are we developing and growing our employees? There's also a regular run process of the performance management programs. Then it also has our technology, or sorry, our technical teams, our technical training teams. So how are we training our heavy equipment technicians, our core classes, our product training, etc. We have our apprenticeship team as well. So our apprenticeship team, which we will talk a little bit more about, we have a Think Big program that's part of that there. So our apprenticeship for heavy equipment technicians, parts, electricians, welders, etc. And the sales team, and then learning and development. So the workday training courses, etc. On the sales side, it's the sales training. So a lot of training. It's all about development and growth and how do we engage with our employees and get ready for the future.
That's amazing. And so much of that, like, ready for the future is uncertain, what does that future look like? So let's talk specifically about some of the challenges that you're seeing at Finning. So recently, Actua and Finning together wrote an op-ed about the fact that we're facing right now, not even in the future, 1 million unfilled jobs in Canada, many of those jobs being in the skilled trades. And the pressure that gap is creating for companies as they look to recruit new talent. Beyond skilled trades, we also know that there's other STEM careers that are high growth, but also experiencing a lot of unfilled positions, things like, technicians, programmers, developers, engineers. How has Finning specifically felt the impacts of that skills and labor shortage? And what solutions are you currently implementing? What things are you seeing right now that show a lot of promise in terms of filling those gaps?
Yeah, for sure. So we definitely have felt those pressures and not being able to fill positions as quickly as we'd like to. So that may have an impact on our customers, or it may mean that our employees are working more overtime, et cetera, to help fill that gap. So some of the things that we have been doing, we have been partnering with different secondary and post-secondary schools from like internship, co-op perspectives as well, to because when we talk about the industry, right, if we don't have enough people entering into this industry, like from a heavy equipment technician, then we're only going to see that gap continue to grow. So we need to invest more in making people aware of what a great opportunity, what a great career this is. So we do also partner with Skills, which is a competition, and it's also about with the secondary schools as well. So people getting more exposure to the skills trades, and we have like a tri-trade event at when we're doing those events, right? So people are coming around and they're trying to do some welding. So it's a great opportunity there. So there are a few things that we have found a lot of success with. We have people when they're coming to our booths, they're like, oh, I never knew this. And especially when we're talking about like underrepresented groups. And I was at the event in May when I was out here in Vancouver, and there were some younger girls who were like, oh no, I won't try this. Well, no, come on, just try it. Just try it. Like, and we're setting up different electrical things, and this sense of accomplishment, right? So for some people haven't had that exposure, and now they're getting exposure and they're saying, actually, I can do this. That's
And
so exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. And so much of that and that experience, that story that you just shared is confidence. And we know that if youth can feel confident in a specific area of STEM or the skilled trades, then they're more likely to continue to stay on that path and to look for opportunities to pursue it. And that's what Actua's work is all about, right? Is to make sure that we don't lose them in that pipeline. In addition to those youth, the youth that we work with kind of in the K-12 system, we also work a lot with undergraduate students, post-secondary students specifically, I guess. And, we're working with them these are people who are about to enter the workforce in the next 1 to 3 years. They're concerned about the skills that they, need to be successful. Could you talk about what skills you're seeing or no, what are critical, like in addition to the technology or the, kind of trades-based general skills? What are some of the other things that you're are critical?
Yeah, great call. To your point, like there's those technical trades, the technology, the data, those are all critical skills. We're moving into autonomous vehicles and electric vehicles, right? So the skills of the future is there. On top of that, what I feel are critical for people to know is really about, change resiliency, having some change skills, the change skills to be able to understand that things are going to move. You're going to have to adapt. How the learning agility and that learning skill. So how can you apply something that you just learned to something that you haven't experienced before? So as you move into a new project, so those are some skills that are really important. And then that critical thinking piece is key. And then I'm just going to say, kindness is important as well, right? So you have to be kind. How you treat people, how you interact and collaborate, those skills, that mindset is important now, and it's going to be even more important in the future.
I love that you mentioned that. And I think that is, that we hear this all the time, right? There's and rightfully so, there's a focus on technology, and we as an organization promote that. We want kids to get those basic tech skills, even just the opportunity to use tools and it's not just technology, it's those things that we know will build the confidence that they actually can be successful in these things. But I should say, it's also those human skills that really, when you have worked in a team and when you've worked in a high stress situation, at the end of the day, it's the hard technical skills, but it's also who you are and how you work with people and how you view the world and your attitude and the level of empathy that you can exhibit. So I'm so happy to have you reinforce that. It's certainly something that we talk about extensively. We have, and I know you do as well, because you've invested in this, both internally in Finning and through your work with Actua, but recognizing that there are inequalities in STEM fields and that we don't have strong representation from certain groups. Can you speak to the importance of diversity in an industry like yours, which has traditionally not had a lot of diversity?
Yeah.
And how is Finning helping to challenge some of those stereotypes and creating an inclusive environment? So it's one thing to get more diverse employees in. How do you then make sure that they stay, which is in and of itself a whole other thing?
Yeah, and I love that, right? So you can have, oh, we're going to hire X amount and have,
Yes.
a KPI that you're driving towards. But it's really about how inclusive of a culture are we? So when we're hiring perhaps underrepresented groups, how long are they staying? So some of the things that we've been doing here at Finning, we have inclusion councils, we have a global inclusion council, and we have a regional, so like a Canada inclusion council, where we're talking about issues, getting clear of like where do we have opportunities and where do we want to grow? In the last year and a half, we have really moved forward with our employee resource groups. And so our employee resource groups are typically underrepresented groups. And so building a community and connection, talking about issues that matter, each of those employee resource groups has an executive sponsor. So there's a piece of advocacy in there. So it's having that a pipeline up to our executives of here is something that's really critical or that's not working, or did you understand that impact? The other pieces is that we're bringing in diverse voices when we're making decisions. So it's not, if one group is making a decision and they're all looking the same, sounding the same, have the same background, the decision about perhaps even what the facility looks like or what the program should look like is not as inclusive. So those are some of those things that we're doing. We are also really supportive of, making sure that people have opportunities. So we partner with Women's Building Futures. We partner with an Indigenous group up in BC to provide different co-op opportunities for students to come in and experience what it's like to be, an apprentice here. And so we're really proud of the work that we have been doing in terms of making us more attractive to other groups, but also making sure that it's inclusive. So once you get here, you want to stay. And I really do believe if we have an inclusive environment, that becomes our brand and people are going to talk about it and invite more and more people in. So it's so important.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm so happy that you as a company, it just makes me even more proud that we're partnered with Finning to do this work, because it takes every sector working together to change the system, right? Yeah. So just to end, tell us about some of the exciting opportunities that you're seeing out there for young people in your industry, and how do they get engaged with that?
So many opportunities. And one of our flagship programs that I'm super proud of is our Think Big programs. This is a great opportunity as somebody is coming out of the secondary and they're interested in a heavy equipment, becoming a heavy equipment technician. So this is where we actually hire these people as students. We partner with Northwestern Polytechnic and Caterpillar. They complete the 4-year HET apprenticeship in 2 years. Wow. And so they're going to the school. They're our employee as well. They're getting an opportunity to go to our different Finning locations for their work term. So experiencing different locations. You might be up in the oil fields. You might be in Surrey or in Saskatoon, in our different industries. So mining, power, etc. And different shift schedules, 7 on, 7 off, 5 and 2. So they're getting a lot of opportunity and exposure. And at the end of it, they finish as a 2nd-year apprentice, but they've already done all their courses and they're started this amazing career that's a well-paid, well-respected career. So that's one of the things that I'm super proud of that we do here.
That's fantastic. And I think so much of this is about letting people know, young people know what opportunities exist, and that there's so much to offer in skilled trades. And I think we often get hung up on post-secondary being a university path, and that just isn't the case in this country anymore in terms of what's what's needed and also what's, fulfilling. And as you said, just like fantastic jobs, plentiful jobs, solid, sustainable jobs that are well paying. So I'm really happy to have had the chance to talk to you about that. And certainly we look forward to continuing the work on the ground to make sure we get more youth into skilled trades. It was really nice to talk to you.
It was great talking to you as well. Thank you so much.